now, a man with giant areolas, Mike Taylor.
Yes. Well, we're here, and we're back. How you boys doing, man? We are not doing our show at 10 a.m. today. Alas, we're doing it at 6 p.m. for those that are here. Don't get pissed off in the back of the bar. There's a show that started, and here we go. It's Taylor Live, and we're at the Ringer, man. The Ringer Pub in San Antonio, Texas, on the corner of Jones Maltzberger and Thousand Oaks. There's a big-ass thrift town right here next door. That's how I knew where this place was, and I saw the sign. It's got the theme. It's got the dude. It's got his glasses up there. And that's how I found out where this place was, because we were over there shopping for T-shirts, and lo and behold, here we are doing shows now over in the corner where we are tonight for at least an hour and a half, if not 2 hours. We're here to celebrate Back to School Week. Not for kids, but for you teachers and you educators that are probably in need of booze already. Who's all started? Not everybody started and gone back to school yet. Has SA, all the major districts, have they gone back? All right, y'all gone back? Okay, golly, God bless you. I don't know why y'all chose this profession, but God bless you. Thank you. I'm glad you did it. Teachers and ambulance drivers and firefighters and cops. I don't know why they do what they do, but somebody needs to do it. Somebody needs to babysit our kids and scrape our dead bodies up. So I appreciate all first responders / educators. It's Taylor. DJ LG is here, and this bar was co-owned by a couple of guys in education, teachers and guys that have gone on to other types of education-type professions. And so they got teachers near and dear to their heart because they are teachers at heart. And so they wanted to have a back-to-school celebration for educators. And they've asked us to come out here tonight and do our show later in the day, which I'm getting used to after doing 10 a.m. for the last 2 months. It is the back-to-school bash, as it were. So if you are in an education business, you don't have to be a teacher. You can be an administrator. I mean, you can be a custodian, whatever. You can be a parking attendant. Get your ass in here and show your badge, show your ID. Somehow prove to us that you're an educator of some sort, and you get 15% off of your tab at this bar, which by the way, you can also eat. So we have a food truck out here called Bacon Me Crazy. What'd you get? The tachos, dude?
Yes, it's like tater tot nachos.
Show that.
Hold on.
Yeah, hang on. I'm going to show what I got.
All right.
They got this burger joint.
I'll show you mine, and you show me yours.
Okay, yeah. You go first.
Right,
what do you got?
Let's see if I can hold this up.
God damn, that's drunk food.
There you go.
See, come out here and get hammered and then get loaded on that shit. It's about 14,000 calories of goodness.
Tater tot nachos. Tachos.
Yeah, nachos. What's the meat? Pulled pork?
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah.
Trade,
oh, I'm glad they put a fork in here.
You may have to give me some of that. I'll give you some. Look at this burger. I can't.
Good God.
It took me all I could do to get my mouth on that thing, and I got a big-ass mouth, as you know. God damn. That meat's probably a good 1.5 inches thick, loaded with bacon and cheese and bread and, of course, fries. And, look, she gave me a sucker, too. How cool is that? So that's awesome.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah, I got one.
That's
okay,
kick-ass.
Cool.
You get a sucker? Okay, I was going to say, don't bitch if you didn't get a sucker. I'll get you one.
Yeah, it was about to be all over.
So we got food you can order at the bar or outside, and we got, of course, the Ringer, which they got tons of booze. Put that flyer back up. I wanted to see the specials again real quick before we get rolling. Oh, there it is. $2.50 on domestic bottles. I got Pacifico. Probably wasn't $2.50. I got $3 Fireball shots. $3.75 Towns. $6 Lalo. What's Lalo? You have to help me out on that.
You got me. What's Lalo?
What's a Lalo?
Huh? Lalo?
Lalo, hey, that's my cousin. He was on. Somebody got a cousin. I don't know what the hell a Lalo. Somebody help me out with a Lalo. I want to know what that is. So we're here with this show, 8 o'clock-ish, but they'll be out here till closing time. So.
It's tequila, I'm told.
Oh, okay, kick ass. If you're a educator, get out here and take advantage of the 15% off they're going to give teachers here at the, not the official bar, but we've got a good side thing going with the Ringer. This is like the second or third time we've been out here to do bits, and I want to get out here periodically. And by the way, I've been given permission from McFinnigans to do this. They actually hit it off, these boys. The boys from McFinnigan's came up here and met the guys from this bar.
Well, I'm glad you got permission.
And they hit it off. You know, there's 2 million people in the greater SA area. You know, I think as long as we can promote any bar, as long as they're not like within a mile of each other, I guess, you know. Oh, shit, a bunch of local business owners it's just camaraderie, and they're supporting everybody. So, I mean, I probably wouldn't do a deal with Thomas J. Henry and then do a deal with Jamie Shaw. Probably wouldn't do that. But a bunch of local bars, there's no reason we can't go do a bar tour, and the boys at McFinnigan's know that. So we're not cheating on them. They know it. It don't count if they know about it. So here we are at the Ringer, which we're going to be here more. We're going to be here for some Spurs watching parties, which I will make announcements of that as we get closer to the season, which is damn near nigh upon us. The NFL season really is nigh upon us. We're 3 weeks out here from the Cowboys opener. We're going to do a show. We're going to do a post-game show out here. One in September, one in October, one in November, and one in December. So on once a month, random Cowboy games, which we will promote heavily in advance. I can tell you right now, the first one's September the 17th. That's the first Cowboy game we're doing out here. We're going to do post-game show, the Cowboys Overreact Knee-Jerk show. We will be doing out here on Sunday after the game on September the 17th. So there's that. There's the setup. And I mentioned the Spurs. We're going to have some Spurs watching stuff out here too, which we probably won't do these shows. I might do some live chat on my phone. But it's essentially, I'm going to come out here and drink some beer and watch the Spurs. And invite Thunderdomers to come out here and watch the games with us. And we'll let you know when those are going to happen.
Apparently there might be an opening night pop-up going on over here, maybe, possibly.
Well, I mean, that'd be cool if you're...
It's in the works, maybe?
Yeah, it's in the works.
For maybe you? Yeah,
are you ready to make that announcement now? I guess
No,
I'm
not
sure?
ready.
Let me get that in blood. Now, it's in Pencil-Land.
Okay, I got
We're
you.
leaning toward doing something... I want to do something special for the opening game.
Yeah.
Wemby's first game, you know. Mm-hmm. And, you know, the schedule's now out, and they play Dallas on opening night at home at the Frost Bank Center.
That's weird, right?
To saying that.
It doesn't roll off the tongue very well yet. Not yet. It will be.
Yeah, it will. We'll get there. AT&T will be a long thing of the past. So, opening night, I want to do something special, so maybe we come out here and watch the game with Thunderdomers and do a live chat or some shit. But here we are tonight, and with the schedule is out, and we didn't get into this yesterday on Taylor Live because it came out after we had already gone on the air, and then obviously we didn't do our 10 a.m. show today, so I don't want to sit here and do schedule talk for an hour and a half. We're not to that point. If I were doing 3 hours like the old ticket days, I might do schedule talk and go through a bunch of games and shit because you got to kill 3 hours, but we're not doing that tonight. I am intrigued by the first two games of the season of Victor Wembanyama's career in San Antonio. Their home games against Dallas and then Houston back-to-back, which good on the NBA for having the foresight. So opening night is the Mavericks, and then 2 nights later they play the Rockets all at the Frost Bank Center, which is going to be awesome. It's Wembanyama's debut, and then hopefully this is the beginning of the rekindling of the old rivalries with us in Dallas and us in Houston. It never got as vitriolic with Houston as it did with the Mavericks for all the obvious reasons, because that city's loaded down with cockbags and douche noggles. And, of course, the Mavericks are always so easy to dislike because of Cuban when he was younger. Cuban's mellowed over the years. But, alas, look at Dallas's roster. The Mavs are pretty good. They're not great. They're just pretty good. But they've got Luka Doncic, who smokes like a chimney and bitches all night long. He's probably the biggest bitch superstar in the league right now. He's been told by the Mavericks themselves to tone it down. And then you got that weird-ass Kyrie Irving. So the Mavs, I actually want the Mavericks to get better because it makes for a better rivalry when they come play us. It's not as fun when the rivals that when you don't like them, what the hell was that? When you don't like them, it makes it better when they're good because they're a threat and that gets the juices flowing. So Dallas is better. They've got 2 asshole players, and that'll be a good opening night for Victor Wembanyama. And then Houston will come in here. Boy, Houston's been terrible. They've been worse than the Spurs the last couple of years. It's funny though because we wound up getting the first pick. Houston's been god awful too for the last 2 or 3 years. They've been 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag, and they're slowly getting better. And I want the Rockets to continue to get better, not because I like them, but because it makes for better games when they play us. And so good on the NBA for getting that rolling. All right, it's teacher appreciation night. Be thinking about that. Everyone's got a favorite teacher. Everyone's got the teacher that they hated and remembered. So I thought we'd get into that here for a little bit, since it is back to school week as we recognize educators. Who's an educator? Who in this bar is an educator? Raise your hand if you've been paid to teach people in some sort of form. Cool. You know what they say about these teachers? Because they're, I compare teachers to like the cast of Sesame Street. You have to control yourself all day long because you're around kids. You can't cuss. You can't tell nobody you smoke no dope. You have to act like a nun or a preacher all day. That's why teachers are wild ass when they're not teaching. Teachers party because they got to have balance in their lives, because they spend all day all buttoned up and acting like they're this wonderful member of society, this upstanding community member. Then they get home and just go balls out with their party. That's the people on Sesame Street. You imagine working around a bunch of fucking kids and puppets all day? Remember Gordon, the bald black dude? You don't remember Gordon? Did you not watch Sesame Street?
To be fair, teachers aren't working. Well, most of them aren't working around puppets all day.
Well, they're not, but they're working a bunch of shit-ass little kids that can barely wipe their own butt.
Yeah, I tried.
The concept's the same.
My first gig out of college was a substitute teacher for Judson ISD.
I was a sub too.
And
God,
it made me respect teachers a lot more, and
Sure.
it made me realize that job is not for me.
Oh no, I'm not disrespected. I'm just saying y'all like to party, you teachers, because you have to have a balance.
You do.
You know?
Yeah.
Because you spend all day. I'm Mr. Taylor. I've never cursed, and I'm Mr. Morals.
Well, you can always be that cool teacher that just, that curses and doesn't give a shit.
Well, those are the ones that get fired for flirting with the students and shit like that, If you're going to be a good teacher, you have to be that upstanding person all day. You got to have your stuff together. You don't get a mulligan. You are expected to be a perfect human. That's why when you get off the clock, pull your wiener out and just go nuts. You have to, because you have to have balance. I mentioned Gordon from Sesame Street, or Maria. Remember Maria? You didn't watch Sesame Street?
Yeah, I watched Sesame Street, but I don't remember specific characters' names.
Those people were spending all day around a bunch of damn kids and puppets, and at night they were going to meth orgies. I mean, they just had to have some fucking balance, man.
That escalated quickly. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
they're not just going home and just like having a nice family dinner and watching sitcoms.
No, they're taking razor blades out and doing blow, and they're like, God knows what they're doing. There's no.
I don't know what kind of teachers you have.
You gotta have balance. I'm not condoning that behavior, but when you spend all day having to button yourself up, it's easy to just like go over the top and overcorrect and overbalance yourself. You know what I mean? That's why thank God I do this for a living, because I'm able to keep balance.
Yeah.
I don't go too far one way or the other, because I have this outlet where I can get shit off my chest. All right. I was thinking about this driving over today as we're doing an homage to teachers. Probably the most influential educator that I had in high school never even taught me, although he was a teacher. I played baseball. I played baseball as a kid in high school.
Yeah, I think we've heard.
Yeah, it's another edition of Taylor Compares His High School Career to Pro Sports. Now, the most influential teacher I ever had was my baseball coach at Arlington Heights back when I was Mike Taylor Jr., second base. Tommy Elliott was his name. Coach Elliott, and I had a lot of respect and fear, a healthy fear for Coach Elliott. Coach Elliott's one of the all-time winningest coaches in Fort Worth Independent School District history. He won state in 1996, and I just revered him because he came on. Because you're a teenager, you think your coaches know everything there is to know about ball and shit. So he not only was this baseball guru, this baseball instructor. Are you flashing that on? Is that going over right there? What you got going?
Yeah. No, not yet.
Oh, my bad.
That's what's going over right there.
Oh, my bad. My bad, sir.
That's what that monitor's for,
bad.
right in front of your.
My fault. My bad. Sorry. So LG, I sent this to LG a little while ago. Someone actually drove past my high school today, and then took a picture of it. They took a couple of pictures of my school. I don't know who the hell they were, but somebody was up in Cowtown repping Thunderdome, and they drove by my old high school. But anyway, Tommy Elliott was the most influential dude. I revered him for his baseball knowledge, but I revered him as a man. You know, he just had outside of my dad, he's probably the man who's had the most influence on young Taylor, on youthful Mike. And he was real smart. He was very loquacious, very intellectual. He actually had a college professor's demeanor about him. Very, very smart. And because he actually taught AP English, right? He taught regular basic English to the mouth breathers like me, but then he taught AP English. It's not often that your coach teaches AP courses, and he taught AP English. And he was also so smart, and he was the very rare athletic director baseball coach. 99 times out of 100, your football coach is your AD. At my high school, Coach Elliott, our baseball coach, was the AD, which I always thought was probably kind of awkward with him and the football coach, but that's how much we revered Coach Elliott in that he was the AD too. Oh, yeah, there's my marquee. Somebody drove past that today. That marquee's been up there for 30 years. You'd think we'd upgrade that sumbitch, but there it is, 96 baseball state champs, bitches. That was a glorious run. Glorious run.
Is that the last time they won anything? That's why it's still up there?
Pretty much, yeah. Well, they've won a lot of playoff games since then, but not state. And we actually ruled Little Cy Mauriceville down on the swamps of East Texas in the championship game. Ruled them. They had to call the game after 5 innings. It was like 14-4 or 14-2 or some shit like that. So the very adroit, very skillful, very intelligent Coach Elliott was probably the most influential educator that I was ever around as a kid. Also, when I was at Heights, and I've mentioned this lady before, and I do it reluctantly because I did have a crush on her, and she was in her 40s probably, or upper 30s. Someone sent me a picture of her a year or two ago, and she's in her 70s now, which was it's like, oh, this was the lady you had a crush on? Come on, dude, it's been 30 years, man. It's been over 30 years. Yes, she's retired. Help me looking this lady up. Her name was Mrs. Gandy. She also taught English. I liked English. I liked literature. I liked social studies. I liked the liberal arts. Did not like science and math. I was not any good at it. I was good at the liberal shit. And I liked Mrs. Gandy. She influenced me to actually I was always a reader, but she had an influence on me to read stuff that was more than like Mad Magazine, Maxim, and Playboy, right? I actually wanted to read real books because of Mrs. Gandy. My third grade teacher, Mrs. Griffin, I'll never forget her either. She had a big impact on me because, I'll tell you, it was one time we're in the middle of class. She was this super tall lady, about 6 feet tall, and she's a former Army veteran. And she would whip people. This was back in the 80s when America was badass and you could beat your kids at school. She had this long, big closet, like a big walk-in closet where you hang clothes and shit in the classroom. And she'd take you back there and get that ruler out, and you just hear it, and your kid come out all sniveling, hand all red and shit, just popping that kid.
Are you sure that was the sound of a ruler in that closet?
No, it was
I'm just making sure.
No, she wasn't doing that. No. She wasn't doing that. She was popping the shit out of them, though, with that ruler, because they come in there and their hand would be all red. She was mean.
Oh, yeah.
But she loved me for some reason. She thought I was a brainiac. I had that lady snowed, I guess. But she always praised me in front of the other kids. She would tell the class, Michael, he's the example of what I want in this classroom. I want y'all to all emulate him. That's big pressure in the body, because now you've been singled out and you're the teacher's pet and everybody wants to whip your ass. She did me I appreciated that, but there was also a price to be paid because of her praise to me in front of all these other hood rat kids that I went to school with. The other one that I'll mention, and I'll see if you had a favorite teacher, Mr. Dunlop, Howard Dunlop. He was not he was a teacher turned principal. He was the vice principal. I went to Stripling Middle School in Fort Worth, and Mr. Dunlop was also post-military. Big, huge dude. He looked like fucking Zeke Elliott without long hair. He was just massive, just brawny dude, but was actually a little taller than Zeke. Actually, now that I think about it, he had more of like a Dak Prescott physicalness to him. He was a huge dude. And he wore his collared shirts buttoned all the way up past the Adam's apple, slacks every day, creases, military style, shiny shoes. He was clearly former military and brought that mentality to his vice principaling. And I steered clear of his ass. Where I was in my 7th grade year, and he'd always snap at people like, he'd snap. When you heard that Mr. Dunlop snap, like, oh, everybody just froze. He had us all scared shitless. And this is junior high, too. Junior high kids are the worst behaved kids on the planet. I would never teach junior high. Who teaches junior high? God dang. I would rather teach 18-year-olds or 8-year-olds, not 12-year-olds. God dang. Anyway, so Mr. Dunlop, he pulled me aside one time. He's like, come here, you're Mike Taylor, aren't you? I'm like, oh, God, yes, sir. He goes, you've never been in my office before, have you? I'm like, no, sir. He goes, let's keep it that way. I never want to talk to you again. I'm like, holy shit, you got it, bro. Although I did wind up in his office once, and I was terrified. Because another teacher I'll mention here in a minute, one of the ones I hated, I called her a hoe. And she sent my ass, go to Mr. Dunlop's office. God,
that'll do it.
I whispered it, too. I was hoping she didn't hear me, but I'm not very good at whispering because I'm loud. She's bitching at me. I would go, oh. Oh, shit. She heard it. She just pointed to the door, go to Mr. Dunlop's office now. And so I go down there all defeated, shoulders all slumped, dude, about to piss myself. And he had just told me like a month prior, you've never been to my office before, have you? Let's keep it that way. Here I am within 30 days going down there. It was almost like he willed it to happen by even addressing the fact that he jinxed it. He jinxed my streak. So I go in there, and she had written an infraction. Y'all have infractions where they write on paper what you did, and they give it to you. They pull a copy, they give it to you, and you have to take it and show it to them. Call them infractions. So she wrote on the infraction, he called me a hoe, and she put hoe in quotations on the infraction. And so I'm kind of laughing, but I'm also scared because I got to go face Mr. D. And so I walk in there, and Dunlop's like, come sit down on the chair. And he pulls the infraction out and reads it. He's like, and I see this. This is a button-up letter to the law military man. And at the corner of his mouth, I just see a tiny little, just the slightest grin you could ever have when he read hoe. And it was even funnier that she put it in quotations. And so he pulls the phone out, calls my grandmother, who ain't got no time for this shit, who's building F-16s over at General Dynamics over at the military base in Fort Worth. And it is so hard because you can't just call people. This is pre-cell phone. You can't just call folks. He had to call. This was before they became Lockheed Martin. They were General Dynamics, a government entity. So he calls them, has to go through like 2 different secretaries. Somebody's got to go down to the line where they're working on jets to tell my grandmother the school's calling. You imagine the ass whip my grandma's having to go through, so she has to stop what she's doing, walk all the way down the damn hangar, go up into the damn office. She probably thinks I got hurt or something. She gets on the phone, and lo and behold, I didn't get hurt. I'm in there because I called. And I'll never forget Mr. Dunlop going, is this Mrs. Castillo? Yes, Mrs. Castillo, I've got Michael in here with me. He called his math teacher, Mrs. McPherson, a, quote, hoe, unquote, just like that, man. And I shit you not, I heard my grandma laughing on the other end of the receiver. She started laughing her ass off, and she goes, well, you know what? And he goes, I'm not sure this is a laughing matter. And I heard her say, I'll deal with him when he gets home. And yeah, I got grounded for like 2 days. My grandma thought it was funny. I knew she did because I heard her laughing on the other end of the phone. But I respected Mr. Dunlop because I had a healthy fear of him, and I didn't blame him. He had to call her, and I mean, I was scared, man. It was funny to hear my grandma laugh, but because when that dude did that snap, you just stop. You jerk your body. I'm like, God damn, I'm going to get a sports hernia because I jerked so much waiting on Mr. Dunlop to snap at my ass. So that's who I'll never forget those people there, man. Did you have a fave teacher at that that school for gangsters you wound up going to at the end of your high school career?
That would be the Academy of Creative Education.
Yeah, i.e. alternative school for hoods.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. Or a school for kids who are adults. Yes.
You went to this crazy school where they didn't have any rules. They just let
They
you
had
come like a
rules.
college
There was
class.
rules.
You just came and went as you wanted.
No, I mean, you had to do 20 hours a week, however you wanted to do it. But yeah, there were some cool teachers there. I don't know how you have such a good memory with all your teachers. Like, I remember some of the ones that were like negative. Like, I remember my first grade teacher.
You don't have a favorite? No one ever had an impact on you? Well,
a
clearly
little bit. Maybe some of my college
sitting
professors.
Here hustling people in bars, getting them to pay for us to sit here and bullshit. So
yeah,
it was fine.
Well, yeah.
So you don't have a favorite. No one stands out.
Probably Mr. Todd at MacArthur High School
Mr.
before
Todd.
I dropped out of MacArthur and transferred over to Ace.
Right.
Yes.
Why was Mr. Todd such an instrumental player in your life?
Because he didn't give a shit about me attending class.
Oh, okay. So for all the wrong reasons, he didn't have this deep impact on you. He just let you do whatever you wanted.
No. He would he would basically just give me a gentleman's A for showing up maybe once a week. And yeah, I appreciated
Gentleman's A.
that I took his class for several electives during my high school career because I knew it was going to be an easy A.
God
He taught
almighty.
entrepreneurship, business management, accounting, accounts and record keeping. Yeah, it was just easy stuff. Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
All right. I have a good memory of some that I hated too, which I'll get into in a second. But first, a moment here for the only place you should ever take your vehicle. If it has a busted glass or any sort, whether it's a windshield or a sunroof, back windows, whatever it might be, R&R Auto Glass, right there on Tacoma Drive, just by the airport, across 281 from the airport on the left-hand side, about a quarter mile down. Go in there and mention me and get yourself a Taylor Especial. It is R&R Auto Glass, R&R Auto Glass. Okay. I mentioned Mrs. McPherson, the one that I called a hoe. She deserved it, by the way, because that woman was a drunk. She'd go get them, and we saw them too. She didn't even give a shit. She had this big, giant witch's purse, big old huge thing, and that woman in there had all her materials, but she also had those little whiskey bottles you get like at Twin Liquors and shit. Those little shooters.
Yeah, airplane bottles.
Yeah, she had a bunch of those airplane bottles in her purse. And she put that shit in her coffee, or she had a little coffee cup, and she put that in there, and she
a little Irish coffee,
she
never hurt nobody.
So nuts, dude. She did it in front of us, like thought she was being sneaky, like behind her desk. She'd be down there, she'd lean down like that, like what the hell is she doing down there? She eating her own toes? No, she's pouring booze in her cup, and then pulling it back up. And so and I had her fifth period. So by the time I got to that bitch, she was a bitch. By the time I got there at 1:30, she was plowed and just nuts and had no control, didn't teach us anything because she was looped by 1:30. Keep in mind, this is the 80s. Things were different, I suppose. And she was just, and it was hard to respect her, dude. You know, like even me in a little junior high punk, I still wanted to be taught something. She was just mailing it in, you know. She was, I don't know, she had problems. So it was easy to be real flippant toward her because I didn't respect her. One time, I would have got major trouble for this. My grandma wouldn't have laughed. I didn't get caught, thank God. I put a tack in her chair. Those big thumbtacks, you know. Dude.
That's that's pretty much assault.
That's
I'm going to say that's assault.
Yeah. I put a little
You
tack.
assaulted your teacher?
I did. Yeah, I had a little
okay.
tack in the chair. And she comes over and she's sauntering her. She had an ass about this wide. She walks over there, whoop, huge ass. 3 sheets to the wind. And I'll never forget that woman. As she sat down, she caught it square. And she just goes, ooh, 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 just like that. She said like a, ooh, ooh, ooh. And she almost fell out of the chair, man. And she was so mad. Who did this? This is ridiculous. I can't believe someone would do this to me. This is awful. She would always threaten to retire. She was a drunk, man. And I did not, and I wanted to snitch on her, but I didn't have proof. And I couldn't take a screenshot of her because we didn't have those things in those days. What else? Mr. Vega, the vice principal of Arlington Heights High School, that marquee you just showed a minute ago. We had a guy, Ramon Vega. I feel like I shouldn't even say his name, although he's probably dead now because he was probably 60 in the early 90s. You know, if he's alive, he's not all there. But so Mr. Vega had a speech impediment. And he was an ass, too. He was a VP. The way they did it at my high school is the principal, she handled all of the administration, paperwork, bossed the teachers. The VP, he was always the czar of discipline. He had to be the asshole. He had to be the guy that doled out the punishments. It enforced all the rules. And so we didn't like him because he was doing his job by being a dick all day. Except he spoke funny. I'm not even sure if I'm allowed to imitate him in 2023. All you liberals got me worried about doing imitations. To hell with it, I'm going to do it. So he had one of these things where he just had a lot of stuff in his mouth, even though it was empty. He had this strange thing where his tongue didn't move. You know what I'm saying? Why are you laying out on me, dude? Why is it?
Sorry, I was having tech issues here.
Why have we become offended by it, you liar?
Technical issues.
Mr. Vegas, look, he did not have a mental. This is nothing. He was a professional. He was a vice principal, an educated man. He just spoke like this all the time, and it was really, really bad. It wasn't even every once in a while. It was every syllable. He's spitting all over you. I feel like I had to put a towel up when that guy would. He was real short too. And he'd look up at you with that, you guys need to make sure you're not. I sound like an old prospector. You need to make sure you're in class on time. So that's how he rolled, man. And this is why I should have I went to public school, man. And not a very good one, as I recall. So who'd you hate? Did you not have any teachers that you screwed with or nothing? I've seen your
there
pictures.
was this one guy, Mr. Sweeney at MacArthur High School.
Was his first name Mike?
Yeah, it actually was.
How great is that?
How did you know that?
Why would you be a teacher if your name is Mike Sweeney?
But anyway, it was Mike. Yes,
you want punishment.
I think it was, but it was. They had just implemented the rule where you had to come to school with your shirt tucked in. You could no longer have an untucked shirt.
Oh.
So everybody was revolting. And, so they would have people just posted up in the hallways, just busting you for having your shirt untucked. So we dubbed him the shirt Nazi. So every time we saw him, he'd be the shirt Nazi.
Mike Sweeney.
I think it's Mike Sweeney. I'll have to look that up. But, yeah. I know he taught world geography. I know that for a fact. God. Yeah. Jeez. So, and then Miss Friesenhahn, I remember.
Miss what?
Friesenhahn, my first grade teacher at Stahl Elementary School.
Okay.
She used to pinch people. She would pinch you if you were being bad, really hard.
That's weird.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure corporal punishment was already illegal at that point.
Well, one where I went.
This was the late 80s.
Okay.
Yeah.
See?
It might have been illegal by then.
Now, I once did get a ruler.
I never got that.
It wasn't from Mrs. Griffin. It was from another teacher. So, in, probably 85, 84, I just got the worst teacher imaginable. I think it was in maybe third grade in 84, 85. That'll make some of you baby boomers feel old, but that's what I was probably in.
Yeah, I was one.
One,
yeah,
okay.
One.
So this lady she just came to work she was having a bad day. And I happened to be the one dumbass kid that, and I was a little bit of a slacker, which I know shocks nobody. But she got over the top though one day with me. I think I just happened to be the one kid. My timing was wrong. She was having a shitty day. She's like, "Get your books out of your desk." This is an old school desk where we had the books underneath your butt in the desk. You reach over and you pull your books out. And I guess I was taking too long. So she's like, "Mike, hurry your ass up." And I don't remember exactly what I said. God, it's been 40 years. No, maybe almost 40. I said something smart, Alec. What I know.
No way.
No. I think I just said, I probably just said, wait a minute, or give me a second. Jeez.
That was a drop.
Dude, she walks over with this ruler and right over my backside, because I'm bent over getting the book, I just hear, boom, right over. It broke in half. She literally busted a ruler over my back, my shoulder. And I'm, 9. I start crying and shit. So she's like, suck that up, suck it up. So I go home and tell my grandmother. Oh, my God. The next day, my grandma took me into school, walked up to the classroom, got in this woman's face and said, I understand you put a ruler over my grandson's backside yesterday. And she starts talking, well, he did this. And she's like, I don't give a fuck what he did in here. You don't ever lay your hands on him or a ruler. I will kick your ass in front of, what did she say? I will kick your ass in front of God and the students and everybody. The next day, she took me out of that school, and I got to go to a different school. So in the mid-'80s, Fort Worth had this big idea where they were going to bus everybody. For 1 year or two, it didn't last very long because the whole city bitched about it. Everybody did. I didn't get to go to the school in my neighborhood. They made me go to a school on the other side of town. And then they made some other kids come over to my school. They wanted to, integrate us more so, It was a stupid idea, and it was terribly inconvenient that I was having to get bussed across town anyway. So my grandma was like, nah, fuck that. She went and bitched to the principal of my actual school that I should have been going to and demanded he'd let me back in, and he did. So there it is. I don't want this to come off as I don't love teachers. I do. Y'all just have a hard job, man, a very hard job. And I don't blame you for coming in here and tying one on and getting drunk. Come out here and celebrate with us, man. We're at the Ringer Pub. We're celebrating teachers. We're paying an homage to them. You get 15% off, educators. Get in here and show your ID badge or whatever it is. Prove that you are in education. You don't have to be a teacher. You can be a principal. You can be a hall monitor. You can be the parking lot attendant. Whatever it is, you can be coach. You can get in here and show us your badge. Prove to us that you are an educator. We'll give you 15% off. Maybe you come in here and get you a couple, 3 vodkas. If you're going to get vodka, make sure you have it loaded down with Live Oak Vodka, the official vodka of Thunderdome. It is the one that I go to now because they're my vodka. Texas vodka is Live Oak. They're distilled down in Beeville, Texas at Coastal Bend Distilling. They're north of Corpus Christi, headed out of town. It is Live Oak Vodka. Last year, in the Super Bowl of these kinds of things, in the Ultimate Spirits Challenge in the vodka category, Live Oak got a 91, which is pretty rare because they don't normally give a lot of these spirits in the 90s. That's an A, boys. That's a 91. It's Live Oak Vodka from Texas, the official vodka of Thunderdome. All right. Jess, over here, let's do a deal, man. So I'm just going to produce in the middle of the show. Can we get Hutch's here? I want to have see what Hutch is doing and talk to him in a few weeks. Is it technically possible to do that? Say yes, because I've already started.
No one told me.
Is it possible? Here, just give me your headset. Let me run. I can run
All
the
right,
gear.
yeah.
What do I touch?
Here, get in here. I'm going to get my food. Don't touch anything. Don't touch anything.
Don't tell who, me or him?
No, him.
I don't need to touch nothing.
Don't touch anything.
Is everything fine?
You don't have to worry about me. I know better.
Where are the drops at? I want to do some drops.
I know better.
It's set up different today.
Oh, damn it. Oh, okay. Well, I see Spike Lee. What about Canelo?
Get the fuck out of here, man.
Oh, okay.
That's my guy.
I did one. I had to push it. Well, look how he's looking at me. I'm sorry.
He's like,
hey,
don't
look,
touch it.
It's Hutch. It's tank ticket number, whatever you were.
I think it's like
Whoa,
5.
how about that? 5, something like
it's
that. How are
5.
you doing, dude?
All right.
I haven't seen you in a few weeks.
Thank
Thank you for coming in here.
Yeah, man.
I'm not going to have anyone who's worked with me. If you come in, you're going to get thrown on the air. I'm lying. I texted him earlier and said, come hang out.
He did. Absolutely did.
But I wanted you to hear, man. McConaughey's.
McConaughey's,
Okay, you are always repping beer.
Yep.
I've had McConaughey's.
It's good.
Yeah, it is good. I've had it once at Dishfalk Field.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was late. It was during the pandemic, and they went ahead and opened up Dishfalk Field for UT games. And I got lucky and got a ticket because they were only given a certain amount of tickets because they didn't want to pack it too much with the middle of the pandemic.
Right.
And so I got a ticket, and I had my own row. It was great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'd
you had to
love
wear
to
a
be able to go to a
mask.
game and just be like, oh, yeah, I got my own row. That's awesome.
It was, and they were real loosey-goosey. The rules
Right.
were you had to wear your mask unless you were eating or drinking. I'm like, well, shit, I'm just going to drink and eat the
Just
whole time.
drink and eat the whole time, yeah.
So I went there and got me the Earl Campbell hot dog
All right.
made with Earl Campbell sausage.
Okay.
And I got me the McConaughey.
McConaughey's.
Yes, sir. And it was good. Damn good.
All right.
So, and I've told Hutch this before.
I'm going to touch your Tootsie Roll Pop.
You two, y'all need to start a podcast about beer.
Dude, we were talking about that the
Y'all
other day.
literally, Hutch and his wife literally plan their vacations, out-of-town getaways,
around breweries.
weekend excursions around breweries.
Yeah.
Dude, I would watch the
We
shit
call it,
out of that
yeah,
show.
we call it the beer itinerary. And I think that would
Genius.
actually
Call the
be
show that.
Yeah, I think that would actually end up being like a good name for the podcast.
Beer
too. So,
itinerary.
the beer itinerary.
Yeah. That's it's just waiting on you. If you
So,
don't do it, I'm
yeah.
going to steal it.
No,
Although I'm
listen.
not qualified, you're a better beer drinker than me. So you need to do this, man.
It's got to be. You can't
Make
do
his
this like.
ass do it. I know he's
Dude,
lazy, Val.
You
Make
can't
him
do this like
It's
every
good.
fucking day. Oh, shit. You can't do it like every day.
We can cuss, just
We can
try
cuss.
not to so much.
All right,
We are in
'cause-
public.
'cause
I mean,
we're
it's
in
a beer
public.
joint, but still, you know how it is. Yeah. Okay.
It's something that you'd have to probably do like once a week.
Yeah.
Because
we'll move
if
this
you
down just a hair.
If you do
Bam.
this, if you do it like every day,
Yeah.
you're probably gonna kill yourself.
Right. Well,
So-
I don't care if you get killed, as long as you put some good seasons together before you do it.
Right.
I'm kidding. So
Thanks
how?
for that.
Okay, but do
Thanks
you?
for that.
Okay. What? So what do you? Do you drink just beer? When do
No.
you drink whiskey?
No, I
seen you
do
drink whiskey.
I drink whiskey all the time. As a matter of fact, I can only drink whiskey right now.
What?
'Cause remember I showed you that sent you that picture of
Oh,
my
the
foot
foot.
infection? I was
Yeah,
walking
yeah,
around
yeah.
like the Elephant Man the other day.
Oh, how's it doing?
It's doing better. It's doing better. I ran out of my antibiotics yesterday, and it seems to be like on the brink of being done.
Hutch sent me
So-
a picture the other day of his foot.
It's like,
It's the size of a basketball.
Yeah.
Did you get bit by a spider?
I don't
what
know.
the hell happened?
I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was like a spider or a mosquito. I have no idea what happened. It was just I did the show that day with you.
Yeah.
The very next day, I ended up having to take my father-in-law back to San Angelo.
Okay.
Because he was in the hospital. So
Okay.
I took him back to San Angelo, came right back.
All right.
Spent 6 hours in the thing, and then at the end of that, my foot like really kind of started to swell up, and the next day it looked like the Elephant Man's foot.
Damn.
And so Thursday, I had a doctor appointment and went in, and he was like, dude, you got an infection. I was just glad I really didn't have sugar foot.
Did it hurt?
Absolutely. I could
Damn.
barely walk on it.
Well, you have a shoe on right now,
Yeah.
so it's better.
Yeah.
Antibiotics.
Yeah.
The doctor was not able to determine what exactly
No.
happened.
He's like, you got bit by something or something or other.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
Huh. Okay, dude.
I've been working out in the
That's never happened
yard a
before,
lot,
so
no.
it's just a freak deal.
No, freak
Okay.
accident.
So because of that, you can't drink beer?
Well, I've noticed that whenever I do drink beer,
Yeah.
it swells up more.
It's not gout, right?
No, it ain't
Okay.
gout.
The doc would have known that.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like, it's not gout. It's not, what is it? The diabetes neuropathy.
Sure.
What is it? Yeah.
Oh.
Sugarfoot. It's not Sugarfoot.
Not that. Okay.
Not Sugarfoot.
Okay.
It's like diabetic neuropathy. That's what it
Okay. Yeah.
is. Not that either. And I was worried about that. I even asked him about it. He was like, nah, it'd be a darker color and everything. I was like, all right, cool. It looked like I had a rash on top of my foot. And it hurt from my ankle all the way down to my toes, but
Yeah.
it didn't go into my toes. It was just right there at the edge.
How long was it that bad? A couple days?
It was swelled up that bad for about 3 days.
Holy shit. What are you just walking around in a sock?
Yeah, and I was like, I had my cane, so
Damn. You
Yeah,
had to
man.
walk with a cane?
yeah.
I'd have called dibs on you if I'd seen you.
Dude, it's like
Dang, man.
like getting up in the middle of the night because it's like if you've got it leveled out for a long time and then
Yeah.
you get up to pee in the middle of the night or something.
Yeah.
Dude, it would take me at least 3 minutes to get to start walking to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Because it hurt so bad.
Jeez, dude.
I was like, I think I woke her up like 2 or 3 different times doing
Yeah.
it or whatever. Anyway, enough
Wait,
about
man.
my ailments.
Oh, no, okay, but you're better. I'm
Yeah, I'm
glad.
better.
No, I needed to know
I'm better.
about that because that's concerning.
Yeah,
Yeah, how old are you now?
45.
See? Not that could have happened at any age.
I'll be 46 in 2 months.
But, I do want you to become a professional beer drinker. And when
I've been that way for a long
but
time.
not a paid one. You start doing a show, maybe you get like a couple of breweries or whatever, a couple of beer joints like this place or whatever.
Right.
That would be cool.
I've kind of got a lineup of which ones I want to be able to do to start out with.
I don't want you to kill yourself, but it would be a good show.
Because to start out, I want to actually do it local.
Okay.
Like all the local breweries that are around.
Dude, there's so many.
There's so many good ones, too.
And a lot of them are Thunderdome places,
I think
too,
like
dude.
2 of them, like I've actually brought to your show whenever you've had me on the show.
Oh,
So,
when we're drinking in
yeah,
the
like
studio?
one was Second Pitch, and
Yeah.
I think that was the last one. And I think the other one was, it wasn't Carbach. Carbach was one of the ones that I had, but another one was something or other from
You
around
still
here.
talk to those boys down at Back Unturned?
All the time. We go up there
Okay.
Monday for trivia.
Oh, okay, see?
Yeah.
It's just, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, let's do something.
We're not smart, but we do it anyway.
It's fun, though. Yeah,
It is fun.
Oh, dude, trivia night in bars that's huge.
And it takes if we win, it takes like half our tab off. So
That's cool.
Yeah.
See, I've been looking for bits for McFinnigan's.
yeah,
Because I go to McFinnigan's every Wednesday and do bits. And like we had a vodka tasting in there. I'll do live chats.
I remember seeing that. Yeah,
But I want to do some other stuff that's cool. Like I wanted to get through this show because I wanted to give the Ringer their love.
Right.
But then here in a few weeks, when I get back from the islands, I want to put together either like a trivia night out there. Would you come out for a trivia night if I put
Absolutely.
that together, or maybe a bingo night, like a
I don't know about
dirt,
bingo.
like a
Not a
dirty
bingo
bingo.
person.
But it'd be a
what
dirty
do you mean
bingo.
dirty bingo?
I don't know, like the squares would be tits and butt. And, I don't know, people doing
TNA
things.
bingo?
TNA, yeah, TNA Loteria bingo, Mexican, naked Mexican. I don't know. I just they told it was someone threw that out there about dirty bingo. I'm like, whatever, it's a bar, it's fine.
Yeah.
If I put that together, y'all need to come out.
Right on.
All right, yeah, because that shit's popular.
Yeah.
And so
I don't know
need-
about bingo, but yeah.
but
I mean, if
like
it's
that
got
trivia,
if it's got tits and ass,
gambling.
I'll go. But
Oh, but just stuff that works. I don't care if it's cochino, just stuff that works in
right,
bars.
right.
Yeah, just what will get people in. Maybe I'll do like 20 minutes of stand-up. We'll do an in-house thing. We'll do some shit for just like people that go and then play bingo for 2
Right
hours.
on.
Or play trivia.
Yeah.
Or do karaoke. Some
Trivia
shit.
lasts about
Yeah,
2 hours.
I know
so.
you'd be down for karaoke too.
I'm always down for karaoke.
Hutch is a good singer.
I might.
I found that out when we were working together when we'd have karaoke nights back in the day.
Yeah, you made me sing live on the air one day.
I have made you sing live, and if we do a bit at McFinnigan's or something, or here, I'll make you sing here one of these
I sang at
nights when they
McFinnigan.
haven't. Have you sang there before?
Yeah.
Yeah. We've
I
had
sang
that
at one
before.
time at
Yeah,
McFinnigan.
for sure. Yeah, and you kicked ass now that I think about
That's all right.
Yeah. All right. What, you watching any ball? You watching any preseason football?
Absolutely.
Or can you not get into it?
I know. I'm watching it.
Are you?
I'm watching it. Yeah,
It's a struggle
I
for
could
me.
I could see every game. It wasn't a struggle to watch those Bears play.
Did they look good?
They looked
How'd
explosive.
Fields look?
Fields looked good. He was 3 for 3
Okay.
for the 125 yards and 2
Okay.
touchdowns.
I want that dude to do well.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
should. He's not playing this Saturday, but
Yeah, I mean,
Preserve his ass.
For me, it's I don't give a damn about the game.
they looked explosive. He was out there for 2 series. They scored both times, both of them touchdowns.
Okay,
one,
cool.
One to Khalil Herbert and one to DJ Moore.
Okay.
So they've already got DJ Moore involved.
Okay, good,
I'm
good.
Friggin' happy.
Yeah, he's good.
Stoked.
Yeah, that's a big pickup
Plus-
for him and the team.
We ended up getting Roshan Johnson too from UT.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they've been saying off and on because I pay attention to all their links and stuff like
Yeah.
that. They
Hutch is
really
a-
love
Hutch
the
is a
kid.
Bears
I'm a Bears fan.
Yeah.
Sorry, Cowboys fans. I'm a Bears fan.
There's plenty of Cowboy fans to go
Right.
around.
Right.
No, it's not really. I might watch the first quarter of games if the starters are in, but I am heavily into all of the different offseason storylines.
Yeah.
Shit like that. But trying not to overreact to it all, but it's hard.
They created like 4 or 5 turnovers on defense that day.
That's
it was,
good.
It was,
That's good.
It was really nice to see.
Who the hell's
even
who
like
the hell's their
second.
coach now?
Matt Eberflus.
Who?
Matt
oh,
Eberflus.
Eberflus. Yeah,
he used
yeah,
to be
yeah.
the defensive coordinator for the Colts.
Yeah, he's a good.
And then as soon as he left, they
Yeah.
went to suck.
Yeah, if
So-
that team could just get their shit together.
All right, it ain't gonna happen this year.
Do you think they need to play in a dome?
They do play in a dome.
Hey, what?
Are you talking about the Bears or the Colts?
The Bears.
The Bears?
Yes, and I know for a lot of Chicagoans, that's blasphemous because they're known for the weather.
I mean,
I would
yes.
argue it holds the home team back too.
I mean,
Especially
yeah,
with
I
a
would
kid
say
like Fields.
I'm torn because I would say like yes and no, but
Yeah.
the winds are so bad.
Yeah.
In that stadium in particular, it just swirls in that stadium.
I know, you can't throw. It's awful.
Right. And so it's like for that,
field
you
gets
can't
shitty.
kick either.
No,
You can't kick.
No
you can't
one
kick
can.
field goals unless you're like 20 feet out.
Nobody can kick. And it
So-
takes it almost. Look, I'm not one of these. I want all the games to be indoors and played by AI robots.
No.
The weather's part of the game, but
Right.
that gets over the top sometimes.
For sure.
Like where they shouldn't be playing the game, probably.
Right.
Like the field conditions get so wet.
But see, it's
and
like,
awful.
but the reason that I don't want them to play in the dome is because then that the big rivalry that you have between Green Bay and Chicago, it almost becomes null and void with the weather conditions that they have. So it's just like you can have shitty weather conditions in Green Bay, but yeah, you're going to get shitty weather conditions in Chicago too.
Sure.
So we're going. That's probably why that series is like so close.
No, F the
with wins and
Packers.
losses.
F the Packers.
Absolutely, F the Packers.
All right, Holmes. I know you're a Spurs fan, though.
Absolutely.
And did you see today? I saw a blurb today where, and I just got a chuckle
missed
of this.
the blurb.
I got a chuckle because of what happened with Victor Wembanyama last month or whenever it was.
Okay.
Sam Asghari.
Okay.
I only know him because he was married to Britney Spears.
Yeah.
He's some sort of a model or some shit, maybe a minor actor of some just minor note.
Yeah.
He filed for divorce today from Britney Spears. They've only been married a year.
Because she's fucking crazy.
Well, okay, that's right. And he's getting out now rather than trying to stick it out.
No.
What were you thinking a year ago when you married her to start with, dude?
It's good. What can I say?
And
Crazy chicks like can
no,
do it really well.
I
You should know
understand.
this by now.
I understand. Oh God, I understand. The crazy ones are fun
Yeah.
for about 2 days, but you don't want to stay with them.
Well,
This
apparently
dude
she was fun
married
for a
her.
couple of months, and then he married her. And
I almost wonder if the last straw, like the catalyst, was not that bullshit she pulled with Wemby in Vegas.
it was possible.
That was a total setup. They ambushed that kid to get attention so she could get on TMZ. That's all that was. That was all that was. And he probably saw that and thought, even this is too much
Yeah.
for me. I'm out. This
Yeah.
is too much. I can't do it. So good on
If
him.
you're gonna,
I
if
saw
you're
that
gonna go
today,
out for
thought it was
attention like
funny.
this, then I don't. Yeah.
Do you have a Wembanyama shirt yet?
I do not have a Wembanyama shirt. I need to get on. I am a member now.
Thank
so
you,
I need
man.
to,
I appreciate
I need
it.
to.
Thank
I need to get on there and get my shirt. So
Yeah, well, you know what? I'll just give you one. We've got,
That works,
yeah,
too.
we've got some in the room.
That works,
No, I don't
too.
think we have any here tonight, but I'll just give you one.
I know where you live.
Yeah. Well, you know where he lives.
I know where you live.
Oh my God! So no, I'm hyped for Spurs too, man. So
Yeah.
it's cool because I haven't been able to get hyped for the Spurs in years.
Right.
But now all of a sudden, I don't know if they're
It's
going to win
fun
a
to.
whole. I don't know if they're going to win a bunch,
They're
but I'm
gonna
just
be-
excited to watch them.
They're going to be about 500, probably just under 500. They'll be right about a 500 team.
Yeah,
Better the next year.
Yeah,
And contending
Yeah.
for the next year.
yeah, I'm with you. I could be talking to that easy.
That's what
I'm
I
just
see.
happy that, and obviously football's football, but it's back to the glorious time of the Spurs will get started in October, which I'm super stoked for. Right around the World Series, the NFL's into the second month, so the NFL's now going. It's just that beautiful time. The weather gets better. It's just April and October have always been my favorite months of the year because the weather's great, but it's the best sports months of the year.
October is the best sports month of the year.
But I've not been able to get hyped for the Spurs in so long, and now I have a reason to. So I cannot wait. I almost want to get. I'm ready for August and September just to fly by.
It's
so we
also
can
my
get to
birthday
the
in
good
October,
shit.
so-
When's your birthday?
27.
Okay, cool. What's your call sign? Oh, you're Scorpio. That's what. Oh, I forgot. He's got the
wonder
scorpion
we know
tattoo
each
on his.
other. Yeah.
It's been a minute. I forget shit, dude. I'm a goofball, but Scorpio. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I do have a teacher story.
Well, I want to hear it because
Okay.
we're paying homage to teachers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was not very nice to this one.
No, let me hear it. Why'd you get all whispery? She's not going to hear you. She's probably dead.
I don't know, maybe.
She's probably retired.
I don't know. She was,
What'd you do?
probably in her 50s.
Was this
She
back
weighing
up-
in at about 350
is this up in Austin?
something pounds. Yeah, this is back up in
Okay.
Austin.
What grade were you in?
Third. I had just changed elementary schools.
Yeah.
And my ADD was starting to show, and we didn't know that I had ADD. And whenever I went from Travis Heights to Menchaca,
Yeah.
Manchac had the open classrooms.
I know right where this is.
And it was absolutely, completely, and utterly difficult for me to pay attention to anything.
Yeah.
And for Christmas, my uncle gave me a whoopee cushion. And I put it under my 350-pound teacher's chair. And
I did a tack. Whoopee cushion.
no, whoopee cushion's way funnier.
That's funnier,
And,
yeah. I
dude,
actually
man,
hurt this poor woman.
She sat in that chair, and the second graders that were down the hall heard it. And she immediately jumps up. But the dude standing next to me, it was way louder than that. The dude standing next to me, or sitting next to me, his name was Melvin.
Yeah.
Dude, he was on the floor. He was laughing so hard. She immediately looks at him and just goes, did this? And I'd stand up and I was like, nope, that was me. She's like, go to the office. So, of course, I go to the office and everything. They call my parents.
Yeah.
And this is still when corporal punishment was going along.
Yeah, yeah.
It was in the 80s. And so I got paddled for that one, but not before they called my mom. And they tell my mom what I did, and my mom just starts laughing. She's like, they said the same thing. This is not a laughing matter. She was like, are you kidding me? That's fucking hilarious. I will take care of it later. And they were like, do you want us to give it back to him? And she's like, absolutely not. So I got whipped with a paddle that day.
Yeah, that's back in the day,
Sent
man.
back to class, man.
What happens if you can't hit no students now, though, right? Can't hit them. Can't do that.
Imagination does wonderful things, though.
Not legally.
Yeah.
You can't whip students no more.
Imagination is great for that, though.
Even Texas has outlawed corporal punishment. Surely not in the countryside.
Maybe not. Maybe not out in the country.
Like up in Marble Falls, I bet somebody gets hit on occasion. I bet they do.
I don't know. Marble
All right.
Falls is a little different.
Dude, will you come back and finish later? You gonna stick around for a bit?
I'll stick around for a bit. Yeah.
I got Jeff.
I gotta
Trailer.
get another drink. I got
go
more
for it. I
to
need to get one too. I'm empty. I got Jeff Trailer and then.
All right, brother.
Okay, go stick. Y'all don't leave. I need.
All right,
mine
I ain't
to
going
come
nowhere.
back.
I gotta
All
smoke
right,
a cigarette
okay.
anyway.
Yeah, go smoke. Have a beer. All right, there's Hutch, y'all. Man, that's badass. Mark Hutchison. If one of the former members ever shows up, I'll put them on, no matter who they are. All right.
Hello.
Hutch's visit brought to you by Hank the Realtor from Vortex Realty. That's that. Hey, let me hear a Hank. Hank! Hank from Vortex Realty. He is the official real estate agent of Thunderdome and Mike Taylor Live. If you want to figure out, let's say, I'm thinking about selling. I got equity. I bet I can get a lot of money on the market these days with all these fools moving into this city and houses going up and prices going way up. If you're thinking about maybe selling your house before you do it, figure out what it's worth. Text message Hank at 300-1121. Of course, it's 210. 300-1121. Hank will run comps on your property, and he will give you exactly to the day that you do this what it's worth. Then you can make an educated decision thanks to Hank. Maybe you're looking to buy a home. Of course, he does that too. It's Hank. Maybe your old lady threw your ass out and you're getting a divorce. Hey, man, I mean, we make fun of it, but it happens all the time, and Hank handles that all the time too. Serves San Antonio, Hill Country, Bernie all the way to New Braunfels and all the way down south to all the different swaths of San Antonio and the greater Hill Country area. It's Hank the Realtor at 300-1121. If you need a real estate agent, call Hank. Come on now, Hank. Come on now, Hank. All right. Earlier today, I need a beer, so this is a good time to do this. Are we ready to roll on this? Okay.
Sure.
So I was hoping to get Jeff Trailer on live, but the dude works 100 hours a week, and he only allots a certain amount of time during his day to do talk shows. And his time today was this morning. So we talked to Jeff Trailer, the official college football coach. He was really, really honest with me today. Talked about Frank Harris, his quarterback, almost retiring in the offseason. Talked about how difficult it is being in the middle class of college football, which they most certainly are. So it's me and Jeff Trailer earlier today on Mike Taylor Live. The official college football coach of Mike Taylor Live and Thunderdome is on with us. It's our buddy Jeff Trailer, who I've not talked to in a while because he's a busy man and I don't like to bother him too much. And I appreciate when he stops down for us. And
Well, let's just get right there. I'm always intrigued by, you know me, I'm not going to ask you one question about the team. Well, I'll think of something at the end of this, but I'm always intrigued by your schedule, which you and I have talked about. I just get, because on this show I'm doing, it requires 18-hour work days, and I'm always intrigued by you, man, and your work day. So it's 10:40 is something, as we're doing this. What have you already done up to now this morning?
It's funny you asked that
Yeah.
because we just addressed it as a team. We haven't had a day. We started August the 1st with fall count. So our freshmen report at 5:45. So my coaches always have to be here 1 hour before the players get here. So that means we got to be here at 4:45, which means I got a 15-minute drive. So I got to be there by 4:15. Today's the first day. We let them swim today instead of practice. And I moved the team meeting back from 6:30 to 8 o'clock. And I literally told my players when I got up this morning and I saw the sun outside, my heart just panicked. I thought I'd missed a team meeting. I thought I'd missed practice,
Yeah.
But I also told them this. I literally said this today. I can go home and retire, and I would be just fine with my wife and I. But because these 100-hour weeks, they add up on you. But you give me a Thursday, a Friday, and a Saturday, and a Sunday off, like when my wife and I go do something for a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and a Sunday, and I'm dying to get back into work by Monday. So as much as we do work 100-hour weeks, it's kind of just what I love to do. But, yeah, they're easily 100-hour weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's what you do, and I'm sure you're probably just she probably don't want to take you on a vacation because you're just answering. You feel like you've missed something, and that's fine, and I respect that. But that's what I'm asking you because I respect the shit out of it because you spend your days there's no wasted moments. Maybe sitting here with my ass for 15 minutes, but other than that, you have no wasted moments. And as a guy who's off on his own, I'm really looking to you from the outside as a motivator for a guy that hustles all day. I mean, do you get a mulligan? If you slept late on accident and showed up late, you don't get to do that, right? You don't get one late day, probably.
I don't, but I do have it in place just in case something were to happen. This thing would keep going on without me. Obviously, you got to plan for that. You'll remember my very first year. We had the miraculous season, and we're fixing to get on the bus and go to the bowl
you got
game.
Sick, yeah.
I thought they were bullcrapping me. They told me I had COVID, and that's the first day of work, Mike, I've ever missed in 34 seasons. Now back then it was 30 seasons. I've never missed a day of work, and I do believe a lot of us. I've been very blessed with my health. I'm not going to take that for granted, but my passion for really serving kids and serving my athletes, my coaches, and I know that just sounds so damn corny, and nobody really wants to hear that stuff. I just believe I love what I do so much. It's really helped me with my health and my mental state, and be able to keep showing up every day. Right. But it doesn't mean I don't have that. I'm a real human. My brother and I were just grabbing a salad, and I'm 55 now. My brother's 53. And I just said to Kurt, I'm like, bro, I don't know if it's my age. I don't know if it's the stress. I don't know if it's the heat. But this fall camp, to me, seems heavier because tomorrow's our last day of fall camp. So we'll have Sunday off for the first time we've had a day off since August the 1st. And I'm just thrilled to be able to go to church and just be a normal human for a day. But I asked him, I'm like, what do you think that is? And Kurt literally was like, bro, I think it's the heat. I just think the heat has just been so much more unbearable this fall camp than we've ever dealt with. Awful. I hope that's what it is. I sure as heck don't want it to be my age, Mike. I don't want to admit that.
Well, I think guys like Saban, some of these guys have been doing it forever. Saban's the obvious name that comes to my mind. But these guys that are older, in their 60s, 70, these big-ass programs probably have a lot more help than you do. So do you have – because you probably – I'm just figuring what little I know about you, you probably still try to do more than you really need to. Do you have enough help? Is this year 4, year 5?
Year 4.
Okay. Do you have enough help where you don't have to feel like you have to do everything? Because I know, and I love that old Gilmer High attitude you've got, but – do you still feel like that old guy at Gilmer where you got to do all the laundry still too, or do you delineate better than you probably ever have?
Well, we've had a rough year in that aspect. I lost my equipment guy right before fall camp started. So
Are you serious?
Oh, Jesus. We've gone through fall camp with a 22-year-old and a 23-year-old, Diego and Matt. I've been the equipment guy basically. I lost my academic girl in May. So when I lost her in May in academics, that was a big hit. We hadn't got her replaced just yet.
Yeah.
My secretaries decided to take a job on the other side of campus, so I lost him. So it's been a rough, those kind of deals are tough when you're
Yeah.
academic, your equipment, your assistant. But I'm really grateful to be here. I mean that. I love my job, but it is heavy. There's a lot that we had to do. We've come a long ways in 12 seasons. Obviously, it's 4 for me. But moving to this AAC has really upped the pressure. And I'm going to speak to our team tomorrow about expectations versus execution, and just how you can't let the expectations, dominate. It's a lot like a fire. If you use a fire correctly, fire is wonderful. But if you let those expectations get out of hand, obviously you can burn down some stuff, and that's when the fire would not be a good example of how to use it.
Yeah. Well, and I worry about your sleep too. I don't know if you care, but there's a guy, I worry about your sleep because you probably don't, I don't know how long you sleep every night. Although you don't strike me as the kind of guy that needs 8 hours, as wound up as you are. How do you go to sleep? Like because I know you have so many challenges in putting out fires all the time. What's the best things about this program right now that don't give you any headaches where you can get to bed and get some decent sleep?
My players. And my players are as good as anybody's in the country. We've got really good players. They're really good people. They're not perfect. Don't get me wrong. You can't get 18 and 23-year-old males in a locker room and not have stuff you're dealing with all the time. But their hearts are good. They're just I compare some of them to a hard-boiled egg, right? I mean, they got hearts of gold, but they're still a hard-boiled egg. When I sleep the best is when I get my next day in my mind really done. If I get my day organized on my phone and I know exactly the 11 places I got to be the next day, I just do better. I sleep better. When I don't, I find myself figuring out my day the whole night. I don't sleep very well. So getting my day in order the next day, I can't tell you how much I pray myself to sleep. I hope the Lord doesn't hold it against me that I don't complete my prayers with amen, because there are not very many of them been completed. I fall asleep praying many nights, just trying to get a good night's sleep, because if you get a good night's sleep, you have so much energy and power the next day. Yeah. And when you wrestle through the whole night and you're working on half a tank when you wake up, that's a long day, which I am guilty of all that, Mike. I've done it successfully many times, but I've also been unsuccessful where I just worried myself to sleep and I did not get a good night's sleep.
Let's talk about don't matter, get better. I don't think you'll ever be able to top Bull Don't Care. That's so damn good. But it's a new year. You got to come up with something. Don't matter, get better. Tell me about don't matter, get better. It's growing on me. I like it now. When I first started, I thought, what the hell does he mean? Is he making excuses for losing, or what is don't matter, get better? Explain that to me.
Well, I just knew I had enough good players returning. Mm-hmm. I had a lot of guys walking in here. Coach, I could go to this school and make this money. If I stay here, I'm only going to get this money. Yeah. I knew when Frank came back, we were going to be picked, pretty high. And every time they came in my room, I just found myself, and I can't really say exactly what I said, but it was kind of like that. Yeah. Don't matter, get better. Now, my kids say it went, we say DG, don't matter. DMGB. Yeah. They say it really went DMFGB is the real thing I said to them. So you can read through the lines there. Yeah. Like, really just shut up and let's go get better. If you don't want to play here, go to the other school. We're doing all we can for you. We've won 30 games the last 3 years. Those schools you're going to, they ain't won 30 games in 6 years. So see ya. And it was kind of like that. I just kind of got an attitude with them, and it doesn't matter. There's some things we haven't done. We haven't won a bowl game yet. We haven't finished the season in a top 25 AP poll, coaches poll. We've been in those polls. We've been as high as 15. We're talked about by everybody, but we got a lot of stuff to still do here. And it don't matter. Get better. So it's kind of like an attitude thing with me, just like I don't want to hear it. I mean, we got a lot to do. Oh, well, I think we're picked second. Tulane's picked first. We have 16 preseason all-conference players. I don't care. Get better. A lot of stuff we haven't done yet. So that's where it came from, and our kids have really bought into it. It's just kind of a way to when stuff gets going crazy, something we can pull us all back together, kind of like a central theme.
Mm-hmm. You, I don't know if you meant to, but you stirred it up this summer at the Coaches Association when you talked about having, I guess you made up this fictional coach named Sam. You know, I got to tell Sam, hey, I know you texted my guy because here's the damn screenshot. I got proof here. You have any fallout? Any people get pissed off from that in the last couple months since you said that?
You know, I get more of the pissed off is from the people that are mad that I won't actually give up the coaches that I'm really speaking about. Now, to make that story specific, because poor Sam Pittman, people thought I was talking about Sam Pittman.
Yeah, I didn't.
Arkansas. The reporter's name was Sam that asked the question.
Right.
And I know, so immediately, it'd be like if you asked me a question, I just kept referring back as Mike.
Yeah. So I got that. Yeah.
And I truly, that was just it. In my 7 situations that happened this summer, I handled them all myself. And the NCAA is trying to get a handle on this. Mm-hmm. But I've just decided that self-policing is probably the best way to police right now. And until we get a real grip on this. And all those coaches were great. They're like, Coach, we're shocked your kids came in there. We'll back off. And they've all backed off.
Awesome.
Except for one. We lost one.
Well, and that's another thing, and I don't think you and I have not talked. Probably the last 4 conversations you and I've had have gone down this path here. You are not trying to be some damn feeder school to Old Mississippi or whoever, you know. So where are we at now because you're still developing this program. Obviously, you're going to a better conference. I guess the word's better. You're upgrading, whatever you want to call it. Is it easier to run a program like yours now than it would have been even a year ago when NIL first was just going ridiculous?
It's way harder on one aspect, but there's also a greater opportunity there because I have the 7th largest city in the country.
Yeah.
And the more guys I can get to buy in that our football program is worth it to the city of San Antonio, which I think that potential is really incredible there. We have, 3 collectives right now, 210 City Fans, which Bob Wills heads that up. Yep. 210inspired.org, which is Martin Salinas, April Ansera, Pat Kleins runs that one. And then the Runners Rising, which is kind of one that is more takes care of all the kids at UTSA. Mm-hmm. Those 3 collectives have been very instrumental for us, or I would not be even competitive. Are we all the way where we need to be? No, we're not. But we are at least competitive. SMU is, they've got a lot of rich people at their school. So it's hard for me right now because, they're the ones that tag the NIL is now it's legal. And SMU's kind of had fun with that because, they got the death penalty back in the day. And they've had a blast with celebrating Eric Dickerson and Craig James. And they've done a really good job over there. But I'm having trouble just because of the amount of money they're handing out in their NILs versus what we're handing out. And we don't hand it out. And maybe they don't hand it out either. Our kids really do. The secret to this town is you better be like the city. And this city is a servant city, family driven. Yep. If you're not serving the city, they're not going to have much for you. So our kids do a really good job of getting out and helping people. And we've put it all over Twitter. We've moved in the freshmen the last 2 years here at the last 2 days here at UTSA. So on my kids' 2-hour break, we've been going over to the dorms and literally moving in all the freshmen just to make sure our city knows where a heart of our team is, Mike.
Yeah. You've mentioned Frank twice. I'll be honest with you. Last year, I don't think Frank's going to come back next year. He's an old man now, and he's been beaten up so much. And then I found out you mentioned Bob Wills, and that was great. And he's coming back, and he signed that deal with him, and that's wonderful for Frank. My worry was I hope he's not just going back because he's gotten paid. Now, money's a great motivator. We're all getting paid to do the stuff we do. And then I find out this hellacious ass offseason he had with the infections. Where's his head? I know from the neck down what he is. You have any concerns about? I'm sure the answer is no. I'm setting you up here. Tell me where Frank's head is and all that kind of thing. There ain't no way he's coming back unless he's all in. This wasn't just because Bob Will stepped up with a job.
Well, one, the money is grossly exaggerated at what the young man's getting. He would have gotten the same amount of money. Frank Harris's value in the workplace might be more than what his NIL deal is for.
Yeah.
So that's kind of an exaggeration by people that have just gone crazy, which is one of the things we're trying to get done with this NIL, is just some way where we're all transparent. We all know what everybody's really getting for the reporters' sake, for the coaches' sake, so they can't hold us hostage. Hostage is way too strong of a word. Keep us in the dark, so you'll really know what someone's making. So the money, to get paid to play football, I'm sure that was intriguing to Frank. But as far as just money, he could have gone in the real world and made more. Now, where is he with his head? I would say in the month of April, May, it was dicey whether he's going to come back again. But about June 1st, the knee started feeling a lot better. And he's really looked good the last 2 weeks. He's only really practiced for 2 weeks. He's excited to be with his teammates. He loves the city. But I know if his knee wouldn't have gotten drastically better in the month of June, he would have called it quits.
Boy, I would have been pissed when I found out he had an infection after a surgery, but I guess it all worked out.
That was tough. And he's on record as saying it's as low as he's ever been.
Yeah.
You're talking about a kid that's been through 10 surgeries. 10. Now count them. 10 surgeries in his career. Yeah. Seven on one knee.
And I call him an old man. I'm just kidding. He ain't an old man. What is he, 26?
No, he's 24. He's
24. Okay, well, he's an old 24.
No doubt. And what he's done for this city and for this football team will be legendary forever. Other than Wemby, I don't know if anybody's more popular in our city than Frank.
You need to get his ass out and talk to the team. That'd be awesome. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be. We're working on it. We're trying to get him for a coin toss, man. We hope we can pull that off.
Oh, that'd be great. All right, man. Look, I appreciate the time. Probably I'm gonna get yelled at by Kyle. I probably kept you too long, but I appreciate it, Jeff. What do you got? Okay, what's the rest of the day now? You ain't even to lunchtime. You just had lunch. What's now next?
Yep.
45 other things.
We're scrimmaging tomorrow, so we're fixing to go script the scrimmage. At 11. Just got a quick salad in. I was actually munching it while I was talking to you there for a little bit.
It's all right.
Then we've got special teams meeting with the coaches, team staff meeting with the coaches. Then we'll have team meeting with the players, special teams with the players, position meet with the players, walk through. And then tonight we're actually bringing in my coaches and all their kids. And my players are going to be coaches tonight. We're serving all of our coaches' kids ice cream. Okay. We're setting up a big rotation out there on the field. And my players are going to coach my coaches' kids tonight. So it's a big family night. We're wrapping up camp. Tomorrow will be a scrimmage. Get these guys out of here. They start class Monday, and we'll be back on the field on Tuesday preparing for Houston.
All right, man. You've wasted enough of your voice on me now. That's it. We're done. Thank you, man. I appreciate the time, as always.
Mike, appreciate you very much. Best of luck to you. If I can do to ever help you, holler at me.
All right, we're back live at the Ringer. Jones Malt Burger in Thousand Oaks. We're at the Ringer for Teacher Night. There's Jeff Traylor. And I have done this stuff for a long time and interviewed owners and GMs and coaches and players, and I have never, and he's not conning me. That's who he is. I would have, if Jeff Traylor would bullshit me at all over the course of the last 3-4 years we've done shows with him on a consistent basis back on the old station, I would have snuffed it out by now. He is the most genuine dude of anybody that I've ever had a chance to talk to on a 2 or 3 times a year basis in my career covering ball. Any ball. He's just, LG said this earlier today when we did this interview, that he still comes off as the typical high school coach. He's just a good dude. He just shoots the shit. He shoots from the heart. He doesn't come off as a man who makes $3 million a year to do what he does. And I love the guy for it. And a credit to UTSA and Lisa Campos, the AD, for going outside the box and bringing in a guy that was most known for what he did in high school. Even though he had been scouting in college for a couple of years, he was known as a high school guy. He doesn't have this button-up, demure about him. He's just a dude from East Texas who loves football and he's good at coaching it. That's it. And good on UTSA for bringing him in, And hell, I thought I know what a lot of y'all think is that at some point we're going to lose him. I don't think so. He has not told me this. You know, and as he mentioned there when we were talking to him, he's 55 years old. He should have been coaching college ball 15 years ago. If he were going to be one of these guys that just climbs the ladder. Look, I'm not saying he doesn't leave. If Bama calls, he's probably going to go. But at this age, and his wife just adores San Antonio, and he does too, but his wife really loves San Antonio. He's just got it made here. And I also think that he likes being the underdog. He likes being the guy. I'm not saying he doesn't. Again, would he take the Texas job? Sure. But I think part of what makes him him is he is a middle-class coach in that he does not have the best facilities. He does have to hustle. He puts in 100-hour work weeks. He doesn't have nearly enough help. I mean, there are a lot of head coaches in the Power Five. Like he mentioned there, he lost one of the academic secretaries or some shit. Most coaches in Power 5 never even meet their academic secretary because they have 20 of them. You know, I lost one of my tutors this year. He shouldn't even have to know who the tutors are. He shouldn't be sweating that, but he is. But that, in a weird way, it's almost what makes him him, and he thrives in that atmosphere. And we're lucky to have him, whether we have him 10 more years or 2. We're just lucky to have Jeff Traylor. So thanks to Jeff for coming on our little podcast, and I hope that they have a good season. They have moved up to another conference, and I don't anticipate they're going to run the table. I think they're going to have some growing pains. I think there are going to be some games that we anticipate that they win that they probably don't, just because it's their first year in this new conference, and a little bit of reality may kick in, and we'll see. I'm not trying to be a wiener-flavored lollipop here and bring the room down, but you know, I just think that they're going to be some weeks this season where they realize, oh wow, okay, this is what happens when you move up, and it's going to be a hell of a thing to watch because he does have a good ball club, and and it's funny how he said that about Frank Harris because I was worried about Frank's head and his heart. Frank thought about retiring in April and turning his back on the NIL deal because his knee was so bad. He had an infection, had to go back to the hospital, was laid up for 2 weeks, and then when the infection went away, had to go get the actual surgery again that he had that caused the infection to begin with. No one would have blamed the guy for hanging it up, but Frank Harris is back. He's going to give it this last go, and thank God because they need him, and especially moving up and playing a more difficult conference. All right, it's Taylor. It's Mike Taylor Live. Like us, subscribe to us, become a member. It's only $6 a month to become a member. It's totally free, to subscribe. But if you want to support us by becoming a member, that's only $6. At some point pretty soon, we're going to start releasing members-only content. Right, Lawrence? That's what's going to happen in the not-too-distant future. And we're going to make that membership more worth your while. And I appreciate those of you that have already become members and helping this little old fledgling podcast out. I think Jeff was a little worried about me. Because he even said when we cut the interview off, he's like, I'm not kidding. If you need something, let me know. I'm like, okay, I'm not starving.
Yeah, he did seem a little
he's concerned. He's concerned.
Yeah, he did seem a little concerned.
You got too much talent not to be doing radio. I'm going to be okay. We're going to make it. You know, I said when I quit the ticket and started doing podcast only, the joke that I was telling everybody, and it really wasn't a joke, that's what made it funny, it was pretty true, was that I had enough provisions to get to August the 1st.
Yeah, provisions.
And what is the date?
It's the 18th.
Okay,
yeah,
okay. Yeah. Okay, see, okay, so we're surviving August.
So
we got more provisions.
How's the provision supply? What's the outlook?
September 1. I can get through the month of August. It's literally going to go month to month here with this show.
All right.
Yeah, and thanks, and guys like Kevin Ronaldo and his partner here at the Ringer. Thank God for them for giving us some exposure and letting us come out and do shows like this. And it's not easy to do. It's way more easier just to stay in our little studio and do our shows at KLG Radio. But this is good for the exposure for our show, and I appreciate it. And thank you to the boys at the Ringer, and thanks to all teachers. Again, show your ID, show your badge, prove to the boys out here at the Ringer, where we are tonight, that you're an educator, and they'll give you a hookup. Okay, we can't go to a bar without hearing the hooker story.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm never going to live this down.
Who wants to hear the hooker story? They're all
Nobody.
going, yeah, they all raised
See,
their hand.
nobody's
Every
listening.
single person raised their hand.
See, yeah.
No, so let's hear it. Let me see the finger. Is it still crooked?
You want to see it?
Okay, hold the other one up so I can compare.
You can see the color balance is off on your camera there.
The color balance. That's my shiny white
There you
head.
go. That's a little better.
It's just my white head.
There we go.
Now show me your other finger so I can compare.
There you go.
Looks like you're
Oh,
flipping
wait,
me off.
this one.
Yeah. Show me that one. Hang on, be still. All right, it's
you have to
gotten
see-
okay.
There you
Now
go.
I
You
see the
gotta
difference.
like
Okay.
there's like a contour.
One is definitely contoured and more.
It's smashed
It's
right
still
there.
swollen too after all these years.
It looks like it is, yeah.
Yeah, because the knuckles rearranged.
Yeah,
I think
it
it's
got
the
smashed.
knuckle, and
yeah,
it makes
knuckle
that
got
finger
smashed.
look bigger than the other one.
Yeah, knuckle got
So-
smashed. Like people want to take pictures
Okay, yeah,
of this stuff.
get a close up of LG's fingers. One's clearly different from the other because he was pimping one night. One of his hoes got out of line, and he had a
that's,
hit.
that's not how it went down.
He pistol whipped her, and she caught him with a flush he didn't see coming.
There was a woman who she was refusing to leave the bar after closing hours, didn't want to give up her one drink.
A woman of the night.
We found come to
whore.
find out later
A
that
hooker.
she might have been working.
Sex worker, as the
Yes.
millennials like to say.
Yes. But anyway, she was arrested.
Yeah.
And so
Before she got arrested.
I tried to escort her out gently, and she decided to throw hands at me. And
You kicked her in the pubic bone too, probably, didn't you?
No.
Should have, bitch.
People saw the commotion going on. And they automatically thought it was a man trying to beat up a woman. So all these white knights held me back while she just unleashed on me. And finally, they realized that she was batshit crazy when she ran over to the pool table and started launching cue balls at the bartender.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Oh, okay,
Oh,
maybe we need to kick this bitch out." But anyway,
Yeah, so that's. I wish the story were actually tougher, but it's not.
Yeah.
LG got his ass kicked by her.
I'll have to say the captain did go in there and throw a nice little shoulder tackle and slammed her into the wall.
Oh, the captain was
Yeah,
in there.
yeah, he
You
was
don't want to
there.
get shoulder tackled by the captain.
No, nope.
Damn.
It looked like when it was kind of more like a hip check. It was like kind of like Robert Horry did to Steve Nash that
but
one
that's
time.
a big hip.
Yep,
It's a big
there
hip.
you go. Yep.
And she was probably so hocked up on dope and booze that she barely felt it till the next day.
Who knows?
I bet the
man?
next morning.
Who knows?
So they thought. So you weren't even DJing, right? You were just in
No, I was
there?
just hanging out. Just hanging out.
But it was a
Yeah.
bar where you had DJ'd all the time.
No, I never DJ'd.
Oh,
there.
really?
I just hang out. Yeah, I just knew there's some people that worked there.
Okay, well then, now time out. See, because the story's been so distorted over the years. Where you were DJing,
You tend to do that a little
you
bit.
busted her head. You busted her in the head with gear.
No.
You were just sitting there drinking. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
why did you take up? Why did you get involved? To hell with that shit.
I
Let
was
the
friends
owners
with the
take- No, fuck
bartender.
that.
The bartender
Okay,
was
well, that's your
nah,
problem.
she was being rude. The bartender was a good friend of mine, and
Yeah.
I would just say, "You gotta go, girl. It's 2:00,
So
2:15.
She jumps on you.
Get out."
You're defending yourself. Bunch of dudes think you're beating her up, and they
Yeah, yeah,
grab
they
you.
grab
and
me.
Did she punch you?
Yeah, oh
a
yeah,
bunch in
yeah,
the face.
yeah, like 10, at least 10 times. And then we
jeez.
fell to the ground, and
Yeah.
her head slammed on my hand, and that's when it broke the finger.
Oh
Yeah.
God. And see,
Yeah.
I used to tell the story where you jammed it and it bent the other direction. You had to have 35 staples put in.
Yeah, it's
You probably should have had something
a
done.
little exaggerated. I asked Doc Garrett on the show that next day, and he
Yeah.
said there's nothing you can really do about
It's
it.
just gonna heal
You
crazy.
can get one of those little splints at
Yeah.
CVS and put that on there.
So
and-
now your finger's all chweck forever.
yeah, and the nail grows weird now. So, but anyway,
God almighty. All right. I'm getting behind on sponsors. Jeff Trailer brought to you by Hardwick Mortgage. Oh, if you're thinking about upgrading your home scene and you're wondering how much you can afford, call to get pre-qualified. Home values have skyrocketed over the years in town. Use the equity you get in your house to pay off other debt. Just put some cash in your pocket. If you're in the market to buy a home, I've had a couple of buddies in recent weeks that have decided they needed to they wanted to buy a second home and rent to other family members. I've had 2 buddies I know buying a second home. Hardwick Mortgage is the mortgage guy of Thunderdome. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Maybe you're looking to buy some acreage, just some land. Hardwick Mortgage is the guy. The information is presented for informational purposes. This is not a commitment to lend or extend credit. Information and/or dates are subject to change without notice. All loans are subject to credit approval. Other restrictions may apply. As a result of refinancing, your total finance charges may be higher over the life of the loan. Visit hardwickmortgage.com for more information. Hardwick Financial Services, NMLS ID 1972012. It's Hardwick Mortgage. All right. Wanted to talk about, before we get out of here tonight, the scene in Hawaii. I'm going to Hawaii Monday, and I'm very appreciative of the very many Thunderdomers, a lot actually, have reached out, hey man, are your kids okay? Everybody, you have any buddies that you know that live in Maui? And so I think a lot of Texans don't realize, they don't know Hawaiian geography, and why would they? It's cool. No, my kids don't live on the island where the fires were, thank God. That was on Maui. My kids live on the island of Oahu. Oahu is it's the most populated island. It's where Honolulu is. It's where they film Magnum P.I. and it's where they film Hawaii Five-0. And I think isn't there an NCIS Hawaii now on CBS? I want to say. Sure, let's go with that. Honolulu has 1 million people. It's a huge city. And my kids live in Honolulu on the island of Oahu, not Maui. But I appreciate the very many Thunderdomers who have reached out and asked me about my kids and how everything's okay. Do you remember Scott Metzger from Freetail Brewing? Years ago when we were doing shows at
it
Freetail.
sounds familiar. Yeah,
Scott ran Freetail Brewing for years, and we did shows over there for years, back on the old days of the Ticket. Mm-hmm. And Scott's long gone now. Scott lives on Maui. Scott's the CEO of Maui Brewing Company now, after all these years.
Oh, nice. Some big wave, huh?
Yeah, he's got that big wave and that Hawaiian, was it Kolsch, I want to say. They've got like a pineapple beer, a bunch of different, it's Maui beer. And they're all fine. Maui Brewing Company is fine. Scott's fine. I don't personally know anybody else on Maui, save for a bunch of celebrities that live there, like Oprah. Stevie Nicks lives in Maui, or she's got property there. Texans, Woody Harrelson. Willie's got a property there. The great Bill Maher has a property there. A lot of celebrities, Maui. I love Maui. It's pound for pound my favorite island in Hawaii. But no, I'm actually going to Hawaii next week, but I will obviously not go to Maui. And I was saying this maybe yesterday or the day before. If you have vacation plans to go to Maui this month and you still wind up going, I was like, you probably shouldn't do that. It seems a bit tacky. Like Jason Momoa, the actor Jason Momoa, he's Hawaiian.
Why would you even want to go there? Are you looking for like a discount or something?
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah, but here's the problem. You may not get it because it's only one section of the island that had the fires. The entire rest of the island's fine, and all those resorts and everything's going great. But a lot of the hotels down there have opened up their rooms to give to evacuees.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and so it's just a shitty time to be going there. And so a lot of celebrities have like The Rock, I think, even is like, don't go to Maui. Don't be an asshole and go to Maui right now. We need to recover. It's a rescue mission. It's a recovery mission. We're trying to recover, literally. So don't be coming here. And like Jason Momoa went on this rant about how you don't need to be going to Maui. And I was right there with him. But then I've read a lot on this because I obviously have a Hawaiian tie. And a lot of the business owners that don't live and operate their businesses in that town where the fires were, the name of the town that had the fires is called Lahaina. But on down the coastline where there were no fires, those business owners have said, hey, Jason Momoa, you need to stand down. We're not all a bunch of millionaire actors like you. We're literally month to month here running these small businesses. And so these other business owners have now collaboratively jumped ahead, and they made a collective announcement saying, no, we want people to come here Don't go to Lahaina, obviously. You're not allowed, the government's not going to let you in. But still come to Maui, spend money more than ever now because I have a fledgling business, because I happen to live in the most expensive freaking state in the world. And if I don't have tourists coming here, I'll lose my business and I'll be homeless. So that's a different perspective that I did not think about, that I thought about that, and I thought about this morning. There's so much. I've been trying to get you to go Hawaii for years with me.
One of these days.
So much confusion right now on what the hell to do. There's so many questions on what happened, who caused this, why did this happen. A combination of Mother Nature with a hurricane and the dry season.
Yep. Why wasn't the sirens sounded
well, see,
quick enough?
And that's not nature. That's on man. That's on the system.
The dude quit anyway, or was fired.
And as a matter of fact, there's massive lawsuits already being filed. There's a law firm here in town in San Antonio. Watts Guetta is a very famous law firm in San Antonio, Watts Guetta. And they have actually sued electric companies all over the country. They're based here, but they do a lot of out-of-state cases. They have filed a massive lawsuit against the Hawaiian Electric Company, blaming them for the fire getting as atrocious and out of hand as it did. So this is all just getting underway. It's terrible. It's just, God, this is years of recovery and aftermath and stories galore and shit like that. And there's also just a lot of animosity, too. A lot of local Hawaiians do not like haoles, as they call them, which is a very derogatory term for white people from the mainland. Not brown people, white, you whites. I'm a haole when I go there. I once got cussed out by a guy in a parking lot because I guess he was waiting to park somewhere, and I didn't see him, and I parked there, and I didn't mean to because I'm a big believer in I have parking lot etiquette. I didn't mean to, and then as I got into the lane, as I realized, oh shit, I cut that guy off. I was actually about to back out, but he stops his car and he gets out and goes, "Hey, you fucking haole, what's your problem? Fuck you, haole." And I'm like, oh my God, he just wanted to. There's so much pent-up rage from Hawaiian people towards people that are not from there, that live there or go there. They are just on edge and looking to fight. And which is horseshit, too, because it's like, hey, dude, a lot of local Hawaiians resent the fact that they're part of the United States. They want to be independent. And what I think a lot of the locals in Hawaii don't realize, hey, man, that American flag that's waving over your state here, if it hadn't been that flag, it would have been the rising sun of Japan. Y'all were always going to get taken over by one of the two, either America or Japan. One of the two. And y'all can't afford to be independent. You don't have the resources. You know, you damn sure didn't have the infrastructure. So, yeah, all that health care and all those tax breaks for your churches and all those tourism tax breaks and stuff, you're fucking welcome, you know? So, look, and I'm not some gung-ho. I'm not like wearing my American flag shirt 3 days a week, but there's an over-the-top animosity from a lot of locals in Hawaii toward us, other mainlanders, and it's all a lot of it's coming out this week. They resent the tourists.
I feel like that's par for the course for most tourist areas, most tourist destinations.
Small places
you know?
like that. But if not for tourism, dude, Maui would be what?
Bule is what they would call you in Indonesia.
Your
white tourists that are annoying as fuck.
But again, man.
A bule.
But here's the thing. Hawaii is part of America. It's still a state.
Yeah,
but barely.
Not by choice.
No, I know. It's barely a state. Look, I get all that. And I'm not saying haoles are the greatest people on the planet. I'm just saying that the animosity's over the top, and it's really weird to have this big thing. What are you going to? I mean, wasn't some mainlanders' fault that your electric company sucks? You know, it's not my fault that y'all couldn't handle your business. You know, it's just a lot of confusion, animosity, and it's all based in ignorance and fear and typical shit when we go down these social roles. Anyway, I'm heading out this week to go out to Oahu and looking forward to it. And ready to see the ocean. I have not seen that beautiful ocean in a couple of months, so I always like to get back in it when I can. So, yeah, I like to go out there. Although I'm not nearly as good a swimmer as I used to be, living in Texas again. So I have to be careful when I go. I can't do the same shit I used to do where I go like half a mile out,
Dude, no. I would never.
Yeah, I used to go way out, man. I think I told you. I think I told you this on the air. When Nina went to visit me for the first time,
Yeah.
I took her to this remote place that usually just a bunch of locals go to that time of the year.
Of course.
And I wasn't thinking like a dumbass. I was just used to it. I just dive in and take off swimming out there about a football field. She stops and is like, "What are you doing?" She thought I was
Don't do that.
She thought I had brought her to Hawaii so she could witness my suicide. I'm like, "Oh shit."
He's going to swim out to just disappear on the horizon, just keep going.
out to the break where I normally would go, which is about a football field and a half.
Yeah, that's way
Out.
too far for me.
Oh, it's 100 feet of water. It's 100 feet, man.
I would just die from fatigue.
Yeah.
I just run out of breath.
I don't have that anymore, man. I lost my
conditioning.
gills.
You're
Yeah,
conditioning.
I lost my gills for it. So I will do some swimming, but it'll be just 20 or 30 yards out, not the customary 200 yards. All right, I want to shout out the San Antonio City Soccer Club. It's that San Antonio City Soccer Club, the biggest, most participated in soccer club in town. Over 1,500 players in this thing, age range 4 to 19, from starting off 4-year-old, don't know what you're doing, all the way up to college age, high level, out of town tournaments. It's a big time club. They're the official soccer club of Thunderdome, San Antonio City Soccer Club, and we need help. It's a lot of money to keep that league rolling, and a lot of money to build those beautiful fields that they just got done building in time for the fall season, and we're looking to get some of that back because it all goes right back into the league. And we got 6 fields that need your help. If you are interested in sponsoring one of our soccer fields, reach out to me, DM me, email me at miketaylorshow@gmail.com. We've gotten 2 sponsors so far, Sunburst Gymnastics, and they named the field that they're supporting Thunderdome Field, which means the world to me, and Methodist Health System. They're sponsoring one of the fields. We need 6 more here in the next couple of months if we can. So reach out to me about San Antonio City Soccer Club and being a member of Thunderdome, and putting your name on that on one of the fields where thousands of people will see games this year and see your company there. All right. What else today? That's about it, man. I mean, it's a pretty good run. We're going to be out here again the 17th of September for Cowboys.
Cowboys.
Yeah. So
okay.
Lawrence and I have talked about, we have a little quick production meeting on the air.
Oh, yeah, okay.
We've talked about doing some Spurs-related stuff.
It's Spurs.
It's Spurs. We're hyped for the Spurs again. If you have an interest in us doing some stuff for Spurs, reach out to me. Hit me up. I know we're going to do some Spurs watching parties here. Probably opening night for the Dallas game. I'm thinking I'm going to come
October
watch here.
25th?
October
Okay.
25th.
October 25th.
Yes, sir.
I hear tickets for that game are skyrocketing in prices.
Oh, yeah, which is why I'll
Yep.
be sitting here on this bar watching for free. But,
There you go.
But that's the end of October. We'll hype that as we go. But we will be back at the Ringer for sure on the 17th, right? Let me make sure that's correct. Yes, September 17th. We're going to do a Cowboys post-game show right here. Matter of fact, I got my trusty Cowboys pocket schedule out. Here we go. It's got Dakota Prescott on the cover. It's Dak.
Oh.
Don't be fucking with Dak.
Is that what it stands for? Dakota? I never knew that.
Yeah, it's Dakota.
Yeah.
Dakota Rain. I'd go by Dak too if my mama named me Dakota
And I bet you it's like
Rain.
Rayne or something,
Probably.
right? Yeah.
It's very Dallas. He fits in with He fits in that city.
Or Rain, like royalty, REIGN, like rain.
Oh, got it. Maybe
Yeah.
that too. All right, so the Cowboys, it's week 2. It's the Jets game. So the Cowboys open up this season on September the 10th in Nueva York against the Giants. Week 2, they're at Jerry World on CBS at 3:25 against the Jets. Aaron Rodgers So the Cowboys' first home game is Aaron Rodgers and the Jets on September the 17th. And I'm going to be doing Cowboys Overreact here at the Ringer on September 17th when the game is over. It starts at 3:25, be over around 6:30. We'll take over immediately and go for an hour or so or however long Thunderdome wants to participate in that show. All right, so that's on the 17th. We're back mañana for a live version of Mike Taylor Live at 10 a.m. in the morning. Love you all hard. Thank you very much. Hey, thank you to all the team. We're back tomorrow, right? Live. Why are you freaking me out? What's today?
Today is Friday.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
no, tomorrow's Saturday. What am I thinking?
Saturday.
Holy shit, I lost track of the days. Hey,
Yep.
I don't have a full-time job anymore. I lose
That's what
track of the
happens.
days.
That's what
Golly.
happens.
It's tough being
We'll be
unemployed.
back on Monday.
Monday,
Yes,
my bad.
Monday.
Holy shit.
With the
It's hard.
with the special guest. Yes.
Yeah, special guest.
Yeah, special guest.
Or 7 or 2. Man, it's hard not having a regular day job, man. I lose track of the days. Holy shit, it's Friday. I forgot.
Yeah.
So no show tomorrow. Back Monday, 10 a.m. Back at Love You Hard DJ LG Studios. Thanks to Trailer. Thanks to Hutch. I was going to have him back on. I forgot. Holy shit. We'll drink some beer. That's all good. Thanks to Hutch. Thanks to Trailer. And thanks to DJ LG. We wouldn't even be thinking about doing any shows without him, man. Y'all be good. Love y'all hard. We'll see you Monday at 10 a.m. Peace out. Later. Enjoy Fat Mike.
Come back, you puppy!
This program was made possible by contributions from viewers and listeners like you. Thank you.
This is a Bronx-bound 6 local train. The next stop is Spring.